Okay, you're and we're live.
We're live now? Like right now?
Yes,
All right.
right now, right at the second.
So right this second, I probably should say that welcome to Gamerhead Radio. This is episode 190 of whatever. No, not tour. Never mind. Whoa, mixing streams.
Don't cross the streams, Goat.
Yeah. Of our infinite podcast that will never end. Yes. I am Goat. 40 shows straight. Burnt the fuck out.
40 shows straight?
Yeah, we went a day off.
Straight, no break, no day off?
Nope.
I am Jonathan Santiago, a.k.a. Fallon Flynn, severely and substantially more rested than Goat.
And I am Charlie Technotronicorn, kind of sick of brony drama today, Worthley.
Ooh, I sense a story in our midst.
Ooh. Hot button topic. Brony drama.
I brought it upon myself. I decided to take a stand against some shittiness that happened at that some community members were doing at Nightmare Nights. The BronyCon that was just that ends today, and so it's a week before. And so
is this pertinent to your post earlier about something that will not be tolerated?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was wondering how that would turn out for you.
Well, I've been busy responding to things on Twitter. I do. I have you guys know me. You know that I have a very low tolerance for shittiness, and
yeah, we're still friends.
I did. It befuddles me too, Go. But I just some absolute silliness. That is the result of some complete silliness. That is the result of some more complete silliness. So the whole thing is completely silly. However, I didn't want it bleeding over into Cider Fest, and so I basically just let people know that I just want to see any of that silliness at Cider Fest. And for the most part, I've gotten a lot of good reactions and support and everything. And to be clear, I'm intentionally being vague here because A, if you're watching the show, you probably don't give a crap, and B, it's just I don't want to really draw more attention to it than necessary. So I mean, like,
so you cut the silly string.
Yeah. Every fandom has its varying types of members, I guess, is the most political way I can put that. And so what it is. But aside from that,
I love you,
Cider Fest is next week. I am just super, super, super excited. I can say that I haven't already said multiple times. I'm just really looking forward to getting up to Milwaukee. So I'll just leave everything at that.
And it's next weekend, isn't it?
Yes. I will be. So this, as we record this, it is Sunday, October 23rd, and I will be in Milwaukee, hopefully Wednesday evening, maybe Thursday morning, just depending on how Wednesday evening goes, because going to a drag club with Barbie may take up more time than expected.
Thursday morning.
We'll call it
maybe Friday afternoon. Maybe Friday afternoon.
And just in case anybody did a double take in my previous statement, I'm going to some of the voice actors are coming in early and they're staying in Chicago for a few days. Michelle and I are meeting them up, and we're going to the Baton Club in Chicago Wednesday night. One of them will be the voice of Barbie in pretty much every movie and TV show. Like, it's basically been her and one other person, and so I'm literally going to a drag club with Barbie, and that just makes me smile. So,
it just seems oddly appropriate, is what it seems.
I guess.
Pretty normal. Pretty normal.
It's becoming normal, and that kind of scares me. But at the very least on Thursday I'll be up there for day 0, as Thursday before con is usually referred to. And then Cider Fest starts on Friday the 28th, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days from now. Good God.
It's good news.
I'm definitely keeping busy. It's definitely occupying my time. The fact that I think I'm wearing a hat on the show for the first time in ever, because I didn't have time to do my hair before the show, should just give you an impression of how busy I've been. But it's sorry, very excited, very I will talk about this for forever and ever unless told to stop. So somebody tell me to stop and talk.
Stop it, Charlie. Stop it.
Okay.
Goat, why don't you tell everybody about how road life has been?
Well, we're 40 shows straight in. I'm about ready to murder anything and everything. I accidentally grabbed a beer yesterday thinking it was a Coca-Cola. That was a surprise. That's how tired I am. The closer...
How did that end up?
Well, they're both red cans.
Ah, oh, well.
I was like, oh, I'll just grab this Coca. Wow, this tastes like Budweiser. Oh, it is Budweiser. Oh my God, it's like 2 in the afternoon. Oh God. But the more Charlie talks about PonyCon, the happier I am because my last day is like the last day of that con. So every time he counts down the days, that means I'm counting the days. But no, it's been all right.
It's a bright spot in both of our futures. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's the road. I think we're in Oklahoma today. I think. Like they're just becoming a blur. Like we've hit that point now where we used to be nice, and now we walk in, and they're like, "What are you striking?" We're like, "Nothing." You're like you were setting up.
Awesome.
Bunch of savages, the lot of you.
Yeah. So John, how's your stationary life going?
Stationary, nothing, man. I feel like I'm moving at fucking warp speed. So everything's been super busy. As I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I'm starting a new job. And so a lot of things have happened in the last like 2 weeks. I bought a new car, like financed a car. So I have like a fairly new car that's in good shape, thank God. And
How's that minivan doing?
it's not a minivan, and I intentionally did not get a minivan just so I could say, fuck you, goat. I didn't get a minivan because I knew you would say that shit to me. Because I know you. So, no, I did not get a minivan. I got something that was utilitarian enough to function as a band vehicle, a family vehicle, and an all-purpose fucking, work vehicle for what I'm going to be doing that's good on gas mileage. So
you got a full-size van. All right, whatever.
No, God damn it, goat. I did not get a van of any sort. So I got a new car, and I got like the day job. My last day is next Friday, and I'm gonna click my heels and fucking drink a celebratory beer. And I thought about burning the place to the ground because I hate it, like with the burning fire of 1,000 suns. But then I figured out that it's too dramatic of an exit. So
and legal fees are just.
But I'll think about it though. I'm gonna think really hard about burning that place to the ground. But we'll see.
John, you should just go to the last day in your Fallon Flynn costume.
That's exactly what I should do. Don't fucking tempt me, goat, man. I'll live stream that shit. Mm-hmm.
Just wonder and be like, what are you gonna do? Fire me?
Yeah, well, what are they gonna do? Yeah, so I mean mostly it's just that kind of shit, and that stuff's boring and nobody wants to hear about that. But the other big thing on the docket this week for my family was my son's birthday was yesterday. Luca is 2. Which makes me happy because it means that I managed to keep this kid alive for 2 years without, damaging him at least physically. I'm sure he's already got brain damage from watching cartoons with his father for 4 hours straight.
So we should send Megan a cake. Got it.
We should. But yeah, so that's that. And, lots of villain stuff happening kind of in the background right now. We actually literally like during the probably 4-minute mark of this particular episode of the show that we're doing right now, just discovered that we are playing a brand new animecon.org convention in Nebraska, in Omaha. We're going to be playing, it's called Kanpai Con. It's a first-year convention, another one of the animecon.org events. So, I mean, like we just learned that, which is outstanding.
Have you been to Omaha before, John?
I've passed through Omaha. I've never spent time in Omaha.
I love Omaha. I think that's just such a really cool city.
Goat is grossly unimpressed.
Every time we just played Omaha this run, and it's like this little dive cafeteria.
Yeah.
They call a venue.
Goat did not seem too thrilled with that. But no, I've passed through there. I think I've played in Nebraska with Digital Mindy. I just don't know when. And then Darcy makes mention of something that's particularly important regionally speaking, which is that the fucking Cubs won the pennant and they're going to the World Series for the first time since 1945. Shut up, goat. I don't want to hear any of your negative goating about the fucking Cubs, man.
Wrigleyville's already a nightmare. Don't bring more people.
I didn't say that Wrigleyville is in a nightmare, but good for the Cubs, man. And my father's a lifelong Cubs fan who was like like the joy in his voice when he called me last night is something that I've been waiting for most of my life, because my father genuinely thought he was going to die before the Cubs have either got to the World Series or won it. He doesn't even care if they win at this point. I mean, he would be thrilled if they did, but to him, the fact that they just got to the World Series in his lifetime. My dad is 64 years old. They hadn't been to the World Series since before he was born. So this is like, my dad's been a lifelong Cubs fan. He's finally getting a little bit of joy out of this team. So that's amazing. It's amazing. So yeah, good stuff. Other than that, that's everything I got. For this week, I didn't really have much going on. And it's true. Darcy says that Bill Murray wept. He actually did. They had him on video bursting into tears after they fucking won. So that's amazing. I just hope he cried like he did in Scrooge, where he gets like that, like pouty lip thing. He looks like a giant baby. It was awesome. Anyways, though, so yeah, that's everything for me for this week. Charlie,
today on Cubs Head Radio.
What you got there?
Here's an example of what I've been dealing with today.
Censored by Charlie.
TK Charlie. I can't see it. Me badges fully
unveiling next weekend's new badges.
Fully Ciderfest compliant, and it's for the audio listeners, it's a badge ribbon that says "Censored by Tech Charlie" on it. This is a little taste of the reaction that I'm beginning today to my stance on crappiness.
Unfortunate, man.
I'm okay with it.
Good, man. Stand by your principles. I believe in you.
You go get them. Technotronicorn. You show them what nice people do. And I will say.
Speaking of Technotronicorn, the other kind of little fun thing that happened to me this week is I finally got myself ponified. You probably haven't seen this, but oh look, it's me.
Oh my God! What is that tattooed on your ass?
Oh, that's my cutie mark. My name is Lucky Hops. Well, his name is Lucky Hops, and so it's a hop inside of a horseshoe.
Okay, I see.
So when you get that tattooed for real on your ass?
Your ass goat. It goes on your flank. Thank you.
I don't even know where that's located, but I'll pay for it.
Right. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yes. So good for standing by your shit, Charlie, and having hops
and having
hoppy ass.
Yes.
But
on that note,
video games.
Probably move back to video games and hop on the train of what got released.
Yes, brace yourselves because video games are coming. So this week in games, let's see. So Tuesday, October 25th, Batman: The Telltale Series Episode 3: New World Order is coming out for Xbox One.
Come on, seriously, Telltale, fucking slow the fuck down.
No, I like this. I like that they're not making us wait so long.
No, fuck you. Yeah. I go on tour and boom, they're like, hey, let's put out Batman, the greatest game they put out ever.
Nobody fucking twisted your arm to do it now, did they?
My bill collectors did.
Well, that's different. Those aren't bill collectors. Don't twist your arm. Those are loan sharks. Go.
Party is coming out on the 3DS, which for Goat may have something in relation to the fact that Batman's coming out this week. I don't know. Nobunaga's Ambitions, Sphere of Influence Ascension. Big Buck Hunter Arcades coming out on the PS4. Dark Souls 3 Ashes of Arendelle DLC is coming out on Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Hide and Shriek coming out on the PC. Almost said Hide and Shrek. It's not that.
Oh, that'd be a fun one.
Would have been awesome.
Minecraft Story Mode: The Complete Adventure. I'm assuming a physical release coming out for the Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Monster Jam Crush It! Exclamation point coming out on the Xbox One. Ginger Beyond the Crystal coming out on the PS4.
The game will steal your soul.
Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 coming out on Xbox One and PS4. Farming Simulator 17 coming out on the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. Infinite Air with Mark McMorris coming out on the PS4. I don't what sport is that?
Name drop, Mark unneeded. McMorris? If you're a name drop, we should know. It should be somebody who matters.
I'm kind of with Goat on that one.
He's a snowboarder. It's a snowboarding game. So.
Again, no one cares. The X Games are over, guys. Like, you've missed your window.
Darksiders War Mastered Edition coming out on the Xbox One. Kurenaga's Revenge on the PS4. Lithium Inmate 39 coming out on the PS4. Exile's End on the PS4 and the Vita. Just Dance 2017 coming out on the Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, Wii U, and PC. King's Quest Chapter 5, The Good Knight, Knight, coming out on Xbox One, the 360, the PS4, and the PS3, and the PC. World of Final Fantasy coming out on the Xbox, on the PS4 and the Vita, coming out on the PS4. Snow coming out on the PS4. Yomawari Night Alone coming out on the PC and the Vita. Trillion God of Destruction coming out on the PC, and Windlands VR coming out for the PSVR. That entire list is coming out on Tuesday, October 25th. October 26th, Clockwork Empires on the PC and Party Golf on the PS4. Also, I'm actually assuming that the Xbox version of Batman is actually coming out on Wednesday, because that's typically when they do their DLC titles. But hey, Tuesday would be better if that's a tradition that they've stopped doing.
But Party Golf.
I know, right? It's basically just golf with silly hats.
I challenge anybody to make fucking golf a party, because I have played golf and I don't mind playing sports. Golf fucking sucks, man.
I love golf. There
is no party in golf. You're making fun of me and talking about fucking a minivan, and you're talking about golf?
Yeah.
Double standard, goat. Double fucking standard.
I like mini golf. I'll play mini golf any day.
Oh, mini golf is rad.
But golf, no, thank you. That's a good walk ruined. Quoting the late Robin Williams there. Thursday, October 27th. Thursday, October 27th. Alice VR coming on the PC, the Vive, and the Oculus Rift.
Is that the Alice?
Well, let's do some quick googling. I'm assuming that it has some relation to Alice VR Down the Rabbit Hole. Looks like no relation to the American McGee versions. Actually, this doesn't look like any Alice in Wonderland that I have ever experienced at all, ever. This is very like weirdly sci-fi looking. I don't really understand what I'm looking at here.
Great.
So completely different. Moving on. Yeah, Through the Woods coming out on the PC. Weeping Dolls coming out on the PSVR, and Wick is coming out on the PS4. Those 4 titles coming out on Thursday, October 27th. Friday, October 28th, Carnival Games VR coming out for the Vive and the PSVR. 2 coming out on the PC. Titanfall 2 coming out on the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim Special Edition coming out on the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. And Forestry 2017, the simulation coming out on the PS4. Is okay. Yeah, I gotta look. I'm assuming it's like a logging simulator kind of a thing. Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. It's like a logging.
Really? Bizarre.
I'm sure you have to. I would hope that they have an emphasis on being, environmentally responsible. And
so it's a pooping simulator, or is it the raw logging?
That might be more interesting.
Damn, coach. You're right though, Charlie. I would rather play that.
Looking into the future, I'm gonna actually, this is a shorter list than it's been. Monday, October 23rd, Hitman Episode 6, which I believe is the final chapter of the episodic version of Hitman that's been coming out. Hokkaido is the name of the episode, coming out for Xbox One, PC, and PS4. On Tuesday, November 1st, Owlboy coming out on PC. Earth's Dawn on the PS4. Blaze Blue, however you're supposed to say that. Central Fiction. Wow. Okay. On the PS4 and the PS3, Root Letter on the PS4 and the Vita, and Super Dungeon Brothers on the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. Thursday, November 3rd, Xanadu Next on the PC, and then Friday, November 4th, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare coming out for the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, which is bundled in with Infinite Warfare, if I remember correctly.
So you got to buy it. It's on the disc, so everybody listening, don't get too fucking excited.
I imagine because money, they'll make it as available as a standalone DLC thing that you can buy. But
maybe for $60.
Same platforms. On the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. Football Manager 17 on the PC, and Mario Party Star Rush coming out on the 3DS. Good Lord, welcome to video game season. What, goddammit.
We'll get to it here in a second, but goddammit. All right. It'll make sense in a minute. I'm just foreshadowing. Just wait with everybody else.
All right then. So those are all of the games, at least according to Kotaku. Thank you for doing that list, because it's very helpful for me, that are coming out over the next week to 2 weeks. So yeah, guys, what are you looking forward to playing?
I don't know. There's too many choices.
There's a lot. There's a lot now that we're kind of like creeping into the holiday game, release rush. There's enough in there that I want to play, but I can tell you that I will likely just keep playing the things I have been playing, and wait most of it out. I mean, I do want to play Titanfall 2, but I was not thrilled with the beta, and I feel like they made a bunch of lateral steps sideways, it was very, very disappointing to me. So unless something changes or they do something different between that beta now and it's never, by the time you get your hands on it that far into development, it kind of is what it is. Other than that, not really, man. I mean, there's just I'll play almost half of that list with stuff I had an interest in. Though I recommend anybody look up Owlboy. Look that up. Actually, that game, it's an independent title. It's got a really neat kind of art style, and there's a verticality to it that it's a neat, pixel art kind of game, but it looks really cool. I'm interested in that one actually. So, what about you, Go?
I don't know. I was kind of play it by ear. I mean, I'm so far behind right now, anyways. I just I'll get to that list when I get back and see what I want to pick off of it and whatever's on sale. I usually just kind of skate through the holiday rush season and then see reviews in January when everything's calmed down again. I'll jump into it.
John, I have to be honest. I'm a little surprised that you're talking positively about Owlboy, considering one of the characters in it is essentially Tingle meets Luigi.
But that's not Tingle at all. That
it looks like Tingle.
That
Luigi
character does not instill me with a.
That is that is definitely Lingle.
Mm-hmm. Lingle.
Or Twidgy.
Gross, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like that character doesn't tug at my gag reflex or make me feel like like
anything else?
Tingle's hiding in a fucking bush to try and tug at something else. So no, I mean Lingle, Lingle there is, I wouldn't say that he's
acceptable
character, but yeah, he's all right, man. Gross. Fucking Tingle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're all looking forward to playing Batman.
Yes.
Well, that goes without saying.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm like if I ever do, like, I have not played Skyrim. I've been chastised many times by others for not having played Skyrim. So I'm sort of glad that I waited, just because again, this is coming out of the mouth of the person who hasn't even put Fallout 4 into his console yet. But if I were to ever play Skyrim, I'm happy that there is an HD remake of it now for me.
Wow.
I'll leave it at that.
Charlie,
there you go.
I just thought about this. Next month, you haven't put a Fallout 4 in for a year.
Did it come out after Christmas? I thought it came out in like February.
No, it was November, I think.
November.
Was it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Hey, at least the shrink wrap isn't on it anymore.
Yeah, I handled that for you.
That's still, that's important. It has seen use.
But, true. Yep, November 10th. You are correct. It's depressing.
There's some good stuff creeping towards us. We're getting to that point where in the next 2 weeks we're gonna start seeing better and better releases coming up, and we're kind of just now at the.
And Charlie's gonna be still last year catching up.
It's true. Hey man, that's all right. He'll get to it when he gets to it.
That's the beautiful thing about plastic. It doesn't go away.
I believe in you, Charlie. So let's talk a little bit then about what we played this week, if anything at all. Charlie played nothing. Goat.
Actually, I got a lot in. Here's
nice.
the foreshadowing for goddammit. I just bought Mario Party Island Tour. Like this week, I've been playing the shit out of it, and now they're putting out another one, so I'm still behind. I have Charlie problems here with fucking Mario Party. I also picked up Mario Golf World Tour. Enjoying the hell out of that. Simple. I got these games where I can just pop in and pop out because of my crazy schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up Don't Starve Pocket Edition for my phone. Well worth the $5. It looks stunning and plays surprisingly well for being on the phone. So if you didn't get a chance to play Don't Starve and you're like the survival games, that's a fun one to do. What else did I play? I think that's about all I've played. Yeah, that's about the majority of my week.
Excellent. Um,
John.
I played a lot this week, man. Like not for extended periods of time, but I'm kind of this week I was put in a position, kind of unexpectedly, to have to play a lot of things in a very short period of time. So, um, rather than spend a shitload of time extrapolating on the standard stuff, I will say I played a little bit of Witcher. I own Battlefield 1 now because Mr. Ryan On was kind enough to send it to me for my birthday. So far, the campaign is one of the most engaging, like, war first person shooter campaigns I've ever experienced. Like, they put a lot of care and love into this campaign. The multiplayer is fantastic so far. I'm sure I'll talk about that off and on for a little bit. Played some Overwatch. Finally broke down and bought Rocket League because it was on sale. So Goat and I will be doing some of that.
Oh, the shit talking is going to be
Oh, it's gonna be
amazing.
fucking because last time you and I got on there, we embarrassed the shit out of everybody. We were fighting,
Yeah,
or
and I
playing
and
against,
we've been playing on the bus here and there, so I
Yeah,
have my
yeah.
practice in.
Good, good. Well, we'll do that. So I played Rocket League. Did I say a little bit of Witcher again? I think I
Yeah,
did.
you
I
did.
don't know.
You did say
My
you did a
fucking
little
brain
Witcher
is
inside
fried.
you.
A little bit of Witcher. I did that. That's not what I said at all. That is not. That is not what I said. Um, let me see. Fuck, so much. I played my 3DS this week. I played some more Fire Emblem Awakening. I'm like 15 hours into that game, and I just play it. Like I get the itch to play it every now and again. Um, fuck. What else? I played a little bit more Arkham Knight just because I'm still putzing around with that. And then what I did not expect, what snuck up on me is yesterday during my son's birthday shindig, my brother stopped by and brought, you can see it leaning against the couch right there, that black suitcase. And then back there on the home entertainment center there is my brother's PlayStation with his PlayStation VR, which he left here for me until tomorrow.
Ooh.
So I spent like fucking 4 hours underneath that headset last night and just dove in. And I played um, Arkham VR. I played Until Dawn, Carnival of Souls. I played most of, but not all of the PlayStation Worlds like kind of experiences. I have not gotten to the kitchen demo. I can tell you though, there's this shark attack thing on PlayStation Worlds.
Yes,
I
you
fucking
have to.
I'm for anybody who's watching or listening at home, I'm terrified of sharks. And it's because I grew up on the Gulf Coast where sharks, I have experienced them up close and had one. I had a lemon shark brush against me as a kid when I was down there, and that was I won't get in the ocean anymore because of that one experience. Um,
Wow.
yes, I'm terrified of sharks. It's like my one legitimate. There are only two things that scare me, like genuinely scare me in the world that are relatively to varying degrees, practical or impractical fears. Um, I don't like flying because man-made objects fall out of the sky very fast, and I don't trust people to fucking change their oil, let alone fucking fix an airplane. And sharks are those two things. And
Got it.
so that fucking shark attack thing scared the shit out of me, man. I actually had to shut it off in the middle of it, and that does not typically happen to me with games that are frightening. Sharks in particular, no good.
All
Very
right.
well done. Um,
Find a flying shark for John's birthday.
we
Check.
we're supposed to get Charlie to try this too, and so I kind of don't want to talk about the games because I kind of want to wait and do a show on it. And maybe
Yeah.
we'll wait till you get home, Goat,
Let's
and
keep that under our hats
we'll
for a minute.
save it. Yeah, I will say this. The only thing I will say to kind of wet everybody's whistle that might be curious, the fidelity visually is not terribly much different than a Gear VR in terms of the lenses and that slight screen door effect. But the difference is with all the processing power behind the hardware, unlike the Gear VR where I play it for 40 minutes and then I kind of have to take a break because it makes your eyes a little tired or you feel like you're going a little cross-eyed. I stayed under this thing for almost 4 straight hours with the exception of stopping to take a couple of piss breaks and
Really?
did not feel the
Really?
compulsion to get out of it. Yeah, and it's because
No, no, no. They make bottles, John.
it's a gross. Go. I'm not on tour. You're on tour,
Oh, right, right.
and it's because the Gear VR using the phone to process it, you get a lot of skipped frames and stuff like that, and so it's the frame rate jerks a little, and that can kind of fuck with your eyes a little bit. This doesn't really have that problem visually. The It's very clear, it's very precise, and the tracking is really good. I'll tell you what makes a huge difference too. You guys being able to lean in and out, and actually kind of get around things makes a huge difference. And having fucking hands, you don't realize how much you're missing in there until you have fucking hands and you're picking things up and throwing batarangs off your belt like it's nothing. And just all like firing a gun, picking up a gun, loading a clip into it and firing it, or picking up the fucking clips and lining them up on the dashboard, and then when the gun runs out of ammo, just smashing the fucking gun down on the clip and to keep firing. Like, you don't realize how much you're missing until you have hands and you can actually control things. That's as much as I'll say for now without talking about it more. I'll share my thoughts on price point and whether or not I think it's worth it, and whether there's going to be more to the platform. I'm going to be playing it again tonight later. But yeah, that's everything I played this week.
Small list. Very
Yeah,
small.
very small list. Very small list. I think there might be a couple other things. Some like fake toy box thing where you're playing with little robots, and it's just a tech demo. It doesn't really do anything. But yeah, that's I think everything I had time to play this week, and I'm lucky I had that.
3 or 4 things. Nothing big inside.
That's big. That's big. By the way, the PlayStation VR headset's very comfortable, with the exception.
That's what I've heard. That's by far, I think, like the most common, like pervasive, likewise compliment
It's
that
light.
I've heard
It's
about
very
it
comfortable.
is its
It's
comfortability.
like rubber around it, but the problem is it has these like little rubber flaps that hang down over your nose, right? And one, they don't do a completely great job of sealing light out from down here, which is a little obnoxious. And two, the way that they fall over your nose, it's not just me. My brother has the same problem with it. The little rubber flaps sit on your nose, and after about 10 minutes of playing, it makes you feel like you got a fucking boog hanging, man. And like I was like I could have sworn I had a booger in my nose the whole time I'm fucking playing. So I'm like scratch, sniff, trying to get it out, and it started driving me nuts. So I did what any sane person in that situation would do. I jammed my fucking finger up my nose to make sure I wasn't crazy. There was no booger in my nose, thank God. I went and washed my hands before continuing to play. But just so you know, if you feel a slight tickle, it's like right on the edge outside of your nose. It's going to make you feel like you got a booger hanging. It sucks. It's the only thing about the headset I don't like. Everything else is very comfortable. So yeah, that's moving on. Fucking
Yeah.
PlayStation boogers. Anyways, so stupid. So that should right and properly lead us to some discussion about the news for the week, lest you gentlemen have anything else to share.
Nope.
Negative.
All right. So coming in at number 5 this week, Microsoft gave a little bit of a miniature update on the Xbox One Scorpio, and they're claiming that it is going to be the only console that can do what they're defining as true 4K and also high definition or high fidelity. They're saying VR. Okay, so as we just talked about, PlayStation, Sony just released a PlayStation 4 VR system, and they are saying that they're going to be doing some iterative upgrades. That they're planning to make things sharper, crisper, and clearer as everything unfolds. But that's Microsoft's kind of response to this was the PlayStation VR and their promise to support that product and get behind it and make sure that it's well handled. Microsoft is not impressed at all. They are boasting that holiday 2017 Scorpio is going to be out again with true 4K gaming, 6 teraflops of power powering the unit, 320 gigabytes per second memory bandwidth, and 8 CPU cores. They're saying, and of course, everything's going to be compatible with all of the Xbox One games and accessories. But one of the things that they were really kind of poking at there was that it's going to be the first and only console to enable high fidelity virtual reality. That's a pretty big statement, especially for a company that hasn't shown or announced any portion of their virtual reality plan. But if they know something that we don't, and they're going to really smash out VR in a big way, I'm excited for that, especially after what I played yesterday. It's a huge difference. So, how do you guys feel about this?
I think it's just a bunch of corporate fluff.
Do you really?
PlayStation VR just came out. they have to say something like we're bigger, we're better. I mean, it might be, but right now it's just keeping them in the game, keeping them on the radar, so
Well,
they
but I
don't get.
mean, they dropped some numbers there, some specs
Yeah.
numbers.
I know, but
So I
it's
mean, it's not
they have
nothing.
to. I mean, they have to kind of keep themselves from getting swept under the PS VR rug for right now.
All right.
It's PR. It's PR doing what PR is supposed to do. I think that's all it is.
Good. Good.
I mean, it sounds. I find it to be relatively believable, I guess, but it's also not really an apples to apples comparison. So it's
it's the same thing we hear every time. It's the whole theirs makes coffee. Well, ours gives you a hand job. It's just whatever gets you to keep.
I don't see anything in this article that says anything about an Xbox Handy.
Oh.
Can we please call this week's episode Xbox Handy? That's gross. Anyways, though, yeah. So that's just to give everybody an update on the Scorpio and some of the things that were discussed, especially the thing that most people are kind of clinging to with this article and the things being discussed in it is the mention of virtual reality, because there's been so little of that. Not just the mention, but the claim that it's going to be high fidelity virtual reality, whatever that's defined as. You know what I mean?
It's just buzzwords.
I hope not. I want them to put something good out there, man. We'll see.
Well, right this second, it's just buzzwords.
I mean, when they say things like that, it makes me feel like maybe that's why they're beefing up the Xbox One and turning it into the Scorpio. They need that extra processing power to get behind a good VR rig. Maybe that's what it is.
You think, John? Gee,
Shut
the
up,
competitor just came out with a VR headset. I don't know what they would possibly do. Definitely not put out a VR headset to compete. They're not Nintendo.
We gotta get him home. They've had him locked up in that tube in the bus for too long. He's getting all goat crabby. He is actually turning into an old goat. Right, moving on to number 4 for the week. This is really, honestly, there's not really much that needs to be said for number 4 other than just it needs to be made clear. You haven't lost your mind. You're not on anything fucking psychedelic. Maybe you are. I don't fucking know. The Last Guardian has gone gold. It's done. Game's fucking finished. Finito. 10 years.
We'll see about that.
Look, see, Charlie's still fucking dubious.
John, it's not finished until it's in my hands.
Let me tell you though, I really fucking dig. I really dig the producer of the game, Jun Yoshino. This was the tweet that they put up on Twitter announcing that it was done. Gone gold. What up? That's it, man. Gone gold. What up? So, just so I'm sure at this point everybody fucking knows, but the game's been in development since 2007. So this is by the time it comes out, will have been out for
slow burn.
We're weeks away from it being a 10-year development title, because it's going to be out on December 6th, which I don't own a fucking PlayStation 4, but this is buy a PlayStation 4 to get this game kind of game for me, because Shadow of the Colossus, a lot of people don't know, is in my top 3, maybe top 5 favorite games of all time. But that's just me. Don't judge me, goat. So much salt, and no fucking fries to put them on.
Nope. I have sushi though.
There you go. Fair enough. Moving on to number 3 this week. Again, news is going to be fucking brief this week. I picked short news stories that were important, but also news stories that could get out of the fucking way so we could talk about the Nintendo Switch. Red Dead Redemption 2 has officially been announced. We talked about that last week. There was some speculation as to whether or not it was Red Dead Redemption or it was a remaster of some sort, or
it broke the internet for about 25 minutes.
It did kind of blow up for a minute there. And for those of you that watched the trailer, it's fucking beautiful. Did you guys get a chance to watch the trailer?
Yeah. It looked like an Old West game sequel.
Talking about the particulars of the lighting engine, man. It looked good. It looked sharp.
Looked like really $60,
especially some of the shots of the forest with the little critters and everything. Yeah, it looks really good.
And it looks like it's going to be broad, maybe a large game, because the first one was a pretty big map, or I guess technically the second one in the Red Dead series. But
yeah, but I'm hoping it's as huge as GTA 5. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, I hope so. And they're saying there's going to be an online component for it too. So
Oh man, we could shoot each other on horses now.
Dude, come on, just take the GTA 5 model and
Mhm.
put it into
Put it on
fucking
horses.
put it in the Wild West, and you can like
Mhm.
stagecoach robberies and shit, and fucking like
Yep.
like the heists could be fucking like climbing up the sides of trains and shit while they're moving, jumping off horses
Oh,
on
I'm sure
trains. If you, oh
Rockstar's
my
way ahead. Yeah.
god, fucking please do that. I will give you.
And then
Oh,
Charlie will go rogue and run us over with a stagecoach, and it'll be fine.
man, I don't know. We'll see. The big thing that everybody's speculating about it though is whether or not it's going to be a prequel. A lot of people are saying they think it's going to be a prequel to the first
That
game.
makes sense.
I really, really don't fucking want that. I'll be honest. On a narrative level, I don't care what happened to John Marston before the end of Red Dead Redemption, because I know how that fucking story ends. I just don't care. I hate prequels. I'm done with them. I'm tired of
He
that.
was an
medium
insurance
storytelling.
salesman. He worked for Sony. We know how this all plays out.
It's true. It's true. I will say this though, because I originally sourced this particular announcement. I guess you could have sourced anybody, but just to remind me what the headline was, I used the Polygon article. The one thing that I fucking am going to read from their article, was just friggin' hilarious, which is, we're still scouring the brief clip for more details. So let's hit the big features we can currently confirm: guns, horses, gravelly voiced dudes. I thought that was pretty good. Game's gonna be out fall 2017, so it's gonna be out like a year from now, man. We should be able to sink our teeth into. So my plan is to play everything that I need to play and get it the fuck off my plate so I can make room for Red Dead Redemption. I'm so excited.
Be right about the time that Charlie starts Fallout 4.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I'll let you know how Red Dead Redemption is sometime in 2019, Charlie, when you get around to buying it or maybe pulling the shrink wrap off of it. Moving on to number 2 this week. Video game voice actors are on strike. They have gone on strike officially.
Woohoo!
So this is a long article. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I do want to dig into this just so everybody understands what's going on with these people, many of whom are massive icons that voice characters that we all love and wear and fucking t-shirts of, and own memorabilia of, and so pretty well-known people. So the U.S. Actors Union, SAG-AFTRA, the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, has gone on strike against various video game publishers in an effort to provide better working arrangements for voice actors. Indeed, the strike has been authorized for a year, but is now only coming to fruition after the Actors Guild and the game companies have failed to reach an agreement. One of the main issues actors are taking issues with the lack of transparency in how their work will be used, quoted as saying, "While the companies are willing to disclose potentially objectionable material that may be involved in the role, they refuse to tell the performer's agent what game the actor will be working on." The Guild said in a statement, "This keeps the performer from being able to make an educated decision about whether to take the job. This is unheard of in any of our other contracts." The other main issue is one of compensation, as the Guild would like options for actors to enter into a payment structure wherein they're entitled to a bonus for a product that sells upward of 2 million units. At the moment, the employers have agreed to offer upfront bonuses for working additional sessions, but the Guild would like an option to go to the residual route too. After nearly 2 years, management has been unwilling to resolve these issues in an equitable manner. This strike is not the union's preferred outcome, but is necessary to let employers know that SAG-AFTRA members will stand fast to their principles and will not be exploited, the Guild stated. This has been brewing for a long time. And there are unfortunately some particular studio names that are being kind of branded by this. The strike specifically names, and the union specifically names, the following companies as companies that they are choosing to strike against: Activision Publishing, Bind Light, LLC Corps of Discovery Films, Disney Character Voices, Electronic Arts Productions, Formosa Interactive, LLC Insomniac Games, Interactive Associates, Take-Two Interactive Software, VoiceWorks Productions, and WB Games. A spokesman for the aforementioned companies had a different take on the matter, suggesting that the Guild hadn't proposed a viable solution, stating, "We had hoped this would be successful, but union leadership left mediation without providing a counter offer. We urged union leaders to put the package to a vote of their membership, but union leaders refused," said chief negotiator for the company, Scott J. Whitland of the Barnes and Thornburg, in a statement to VentureBeat, whom originally sourced this article. Whitland clarified that the wage hike being offered via upfront bonuses based on the number of sessions worked could increase actors' compensation by up to 23%. Picket lines going to be forming outside of EA's Vista, California office starting this Monday morning. Actors are asking for Twitter support using the hashtag performance matters.
Really?
As of last year, 96.5% of SAG-AFTRA members voted in favor of this strike. Prominent voice actors featured and taking part in the strike include Jennifer Hale from the Mass Effect games, Ashley Birch from Life is Strange, and also from I don't remember what was her brother. She and her brother used to do together. Hey Ash, what you playing? That's what it was. Will Wheaton, David Hayter, Steve Bloom, Elias Tofezis, and Sarah Elamala, and Tara Strong. So quite a few high-profile voiceover artists participating in this. What do you guys make of this stuff?
Isn't Tara Strong a pony person?
She is. So
She
this
is.
affects me personally. No. Yeah, I mean, this has been this situation has been a problem for a while. It seems, obviously I'm not in the business, so I can't really speak directly, but just from what seems to be in the air as far as what people think about it and just what the situation is. Sometimes these things need to happen just to make things better. So hopefully this gets resolved quickly. Hopefully this gets resolved quickly and amicably for everyone. That's
that's about as good as anybody could hope. I mean, you want these people to get paid fair and well, but you also, not disclosing what kind of role you're playing. That's why you sign a fucking NDA, man. Like, that's not. I don't know. It seems odd to me to hide from people what it is they're going to be doing. One other thing though is that I'm curious to see if this in any way spurns on or affects. We talked about development conditions a couple weeks ago with Amy Hennig. I keep waiting for developers to strike, man. Like, why aren't they fucking striking? So I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. But as Charlie said, hopefully jolly all is well that ends well for everybody. I doubt it, but maybe. We'll see. Moving on to the number one news story for the week was easily the announcement of the Nintendo Switch. Just a few days back. Monday morning actually, or was it Tuesday morning? My brain is fried. Nintendo announced the NX, codename NX, Nintendo Switch is here. They put out a release trailer, and then some standard, promotional photographs of the unit. Guys, since we're primarily going to be talking about the NX for our feature,
just fold it right in here.
That we're just going to fold it in. I mean, the news is the fucking announcement, but we're going to break down what we think about this and talk about this for our feature.
So John, I got this. All right, the number one story is the Switch is a thing.
Yes.
Now on to our feature.
That's right. No, here you
music.
You missed an opportunity there. Number one news stories this week is the Nintendo Switch. So let's switch over to our fucking feature this week. How about that?
See, I didn't miss that. I have tact and
there's nothing that you could do to convince anybody watching this show that you wouldn't have made that fucking joke if you hadn't thought of it first. You make more dad jokes than I do, Goat.
Nope.
Anywho. Charlie gave me a slow clap. So we'll call it a golf clap due to the episode here.
I'm John. I'm past the dad joke portion of my life. I've moved on.
I don't want to know what the next fucking level is after dad joke. I don't know if I can handle it. So let's start the feature off by talking about what we know. Okay.
It's great.
That's correct. So for anybody who does not know or anybody who has not seen the trailer, here's a very brief rundown of what it is. The Nintendo Switch is a how would you describe this? Kind of maybe
a hybrid
portable, sort of portable console. So let's take a look at it.
It's portable. It's very portable.
It is.
It's wholly portable. Yeah. So
it's actually less of a home console than it is a portable console. It's a weird thing.
Let's do this. Let's assume that everybody listening / watching this has seen the release trailer. If you haven't, pause, go watch it, and come back. It's just a couple minutes long, but it tells you.
It's easier that way.
It tells you quite a bit about the the versatility of the console, and it visually a lot better than we could in trying to describe it. So go watch that if you haven't, and then come back. From going on.
All right, now you're up to speed.
Yep.
So now that you've watched that trailer and you know exactly what we're talking about, it's a weird little doodad that's gonna sit on your shelf with the other weird Nintendo doodads. But this one actually has this one actually has potential, unlike the last doodad.
So here's what we got. I'm going to screen share while I discuss some of the things that we're going to be talking about here. So this is the actual unit itself. Here on the left, obviously they're calling this the Switch dock, and then as you can see, shut up. They're calling this the Nintendo Switch dock, and then as you can see, this model here is pulling the Switch tablet out of the dock. Now, shut up, Goat.
Sounds horrible when you explain it.
This controller here, which I think personally, visually, looks really ungainly and awkward. I'm sure it won't be because Nintendo usually makes a somewhat relatively comfortable controller.
Well, you can also rip it
even
apart.
when it looks awkward. But yeah, that's the thing.
Listen, hang on. Nintendo can't make a common just a typical controller if they needed to save their lives. Like every controller they have ever made on every system has been like weird or some people would, for various iterations, some people may say revolutionary, some people may say just goofy as all hell.
For sure.
They made one, and that was the NES controller, and it was downhill from there.
Well, no, I digress. The Super Nintendo controller was pretty fantastic, but
it was weird.
So if you're looking at it here, this controller, they're referring to these controllers as let's take a look, Joy-Con. That's what they're calling it. So the chunk in the middle here acts as like a dock. There's a couple metal sheets underneath, and you can slide both sides, Joy-Con left and Joy-Con right, off, and then attach them to the base unit as you see here. And then subsequently, which is also super strange, they show this in the trailer, and it took me kind of a second watch to pick up on this. I'm sure everybody knows by now as they've seen it. You can take the little individual controllers and turn them sideways and hand one to somebody else and kind of use it like just like a regular NES pad. You know, you got your directional pad, and then you've got 4 buttons on there.
Yeah, if you look at the way that the L and right pieces are laid out, they're mirror images of each other, and so you can so it makes a whole lot of sense that they maintain that simple control scheme of like what they did with like the Wii controllers, of being able to just use them sideways like simple NES controllers. So
which I thought was really bizarre when I first watched the video until I realized why they did it that way. It's just Nintendo doing that thing where it may not look conventional, but when you think about the way they design things on a functional level, it's fucking kind of brilliant. Really, a little weird looking, but
we'll get used to it.
Brilliant, yeah, for sure. So that's the unit. You slide the pieces on, you pull the dock, or you pull the tablet out of the dock, and it pulls it from the television screen right straight to the dock, and then you can take it with you to various degrees of configuration depending on what you want to do. They did feature this kind of like a car mount thing that's like just basically a frame that you can slide the tablet into and pull the Joy-Con controllers off and use them while you're on a car trip, which fucking speaks to me, and I would be willing to bet Goat has something to say about that.
Oh, this is my new console of choice to travel with.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who spend time on the road, and they imply that with somebody taking a flight and traveling, that this is going to be a preferred console for people who are on the go. But still don't want to miss out on premium experiences,
just don't want to talk to people, hang out, or play video games. Yeah, I mean, this is my world.
They do also show that there is going to be kind of like a pro controller support for it in case you want something that's a little bit more of a standard control option. This is not surprising, but it looks a little different. Like it's definitely a component of the Switch and not the previous controllers. You know what I mean? Doesn't appear that there's going to be any sort of support for older controllers. A lot of Smash players want
I don't think there's any
GameCube controllers,
I don't think there's any backwards compatibility at all for this thing.
No, not at all. And then one other thing to share with you guys, people were really excited when Nintendo announced that they are going to be supported by literally double the amount of developers than they were for the Wii U, which is what everybody was concerned about. So right here is an infographic that kind of gives you an idea of some of the people that are going to be putting out games for this console, or at least who have signed on with the option to do so. That's a pretty fucking robust bunch. I mean, you've got the essential everybody there that you want,
Yeah.
for every type of game that you can imagine. So, I mean, does it look like anybody's missing from that list to you guys?
I mean,
No.
not. So for the audio listeners, we've got 505 Games, Activision,
Arc
Arc
System
System
Works.
Works, Atlas, Bandai Namco, Bethesda, Capcom, Codemasters, EA, From Software, Frozen Byte, Game Trust, Grasshopper Manufacture, Gung Ho, Hamster, Inti Creates, KT, Konami, Level 5, Marvelous, Maximum Games, Software. What is that? What is that?
I
Software?
actually don't recognize that logo.
Parody Bits,
That's Platinum Games.
P-Star, Sega, Spike Chunsoft, Square Enix. I can't read my.
That is a tiny. I know I've seen that logo, but I can't read it.
It's like the Angry Sun logo.
It's
Take
that
Two
pissed off
Interactive.
son from Super Mario Brothers 3 that chases you.
It kind of is. Take Two, Telltale Games, THQ Nordic, Traveler Sales Games, Ubisoft, Warner Brothers, Something Asian, WY's, Autodesk, Cryware, Dina, Epic Games, Fmod, Havoc. Obviously, some of these are technologies, not game studios.
Yeah.
Silicon Studio, Ubidius, I don't know, Unity, and Wub Tech. I love Wub technology. I love some good Wubs. I don't think that's actually what that says.
I couldn't fucking help myself.
So it's a lot. I mean, nothing leaps out at me as being somebody that's missing off of here. I mean, pretty much.
Rockstar.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
they're not
that's
on
true.
there for sure.
Mhm.
I'm sure that there's quite a few larger developers that we won't realize until later. But a lot of people were really excited about From Software because the idea in their mind is, ooh, we'll get a Dark Souls game we can take with us. So we'll see, maybe, possibly. But that's a pretty fucking robust list of developers that are going to be.
It's a row soup list, yes.
It is a row soup list. So let's talk about the hardware, since we just kind of broke down the hardware and the developers. What do you guys? First of all, what's your guys' overall impression of this console?
Okay,
I haven't been excited for a Nintendo product until I seen this trailer.
Really?
I imagine, Goat, this is right up. This is exactly what you want.
Yeah, Nintendo's like talking to me personally, my lifestyle, and my career.
Yep. I mean,
I can literally take a console with me everywhere, and it's not a pain in the ass. It's not tethered to the internet. It's Nintendo, so it's not going to be tethered to the internet as much as anything else. It's going to be amazing, and I'm going to have Mario and Metroid and Zelda and everything they should put out this thing in like an eighth of my suitcase. That's not going to put me over 50 pounds. Like, everything about this thing is awesome.
Yep. No, I imagine this might as well be called like the Nintendo Goat. Like this is made for you.
Yeah.
But
like, I'm already thinking about buying two, one for the road and one to stay home.
Wow, look at you, madman. What about you, Charlie? What is your feeling? What's your thought when you watch the trailer?
So I watched this trailer and I'm more about the guts of this thing because it's in case you did not follow our instructions and you have not watched the trailer or seen anything about this yet, it's basically like the core of this console is like a 7-inch like landscape sized tablet, and it only looks like it's maybe at the most like maybe 7/8, maybe an inch thick at the absolute most. That's including all that stuff. I have an iPad in my hand right now, and on this thing, like the battery life is good, but I mean, this is not a cheap device, and I imagine how they're going to be able to take even the Wii U quality, like hardware and graphics and everything, and cram that down into something this size, plus put a battery on top of it that's going to last longer than an hour or two. I just have a hard time understanding how this is going to meet the expectations that they just set in terms of how good the games are going to look versus how long this battery is going to last.
Nothing has been officially confirmed because Nintendo is doing the next Nintendo Direct is they're assuming going to focus largely on filling in some of the gaps for information we're going to need. But
Sure.
the early word from a couple people close to the unit earlier this week said that its battery life is going to be about 3 hours.
Okay, that I find that to be believable, and then but 3 hours of doing what? I mean, like whenever you look at battery
Playing.
life,
Just playing.
well,
The
it stands to reason that that like a game with like I don't know, I'll just say something that I imagine takes less processing power to do. I'll say a game like Mario, like New Mario Brother Wii U versus something like Skyrim Remastered. I'm assuming that will suck your battery down faster than playing Mario. That's just an assumption.
maybe, but let's look at Nintendo's mobile track record though. One thing Nintendo's really really good about is whether you're playing an old DS game or something that's newer, that's a little more graphic intensive on the like new 3DS, the battery life's pretty goddamn consistent.
Yeah, but
like
but the
one
overall
doesn't really kill the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the spread of those two things, like comparing those two things, is not that much different. I mean, again, I picked Skyrim Remastered out as an example because that's something that was shown off multiple times in this video, and I mean, like, is going to suck up graphics processing power more than a lot of other things that you typically think of when you think of Nintendo consoles. I mean, I'm just saying I'm not making a prediction anyway. I'm very interested to see what this actually ends up being and see if the 3 hours does pan out even for like Skyrim. I'll be interested to see if people are okay with that. And then also we don't know what the price of this thing is going to be. I mean, like if this ends up being like a
$1 million
$600 release price, I'm just making that number up. I mean, like that's
nah.
I personally, that would not surprise me based on the hardware that based on what I'm assuming is going on with this thing. But I kind of imagine Nintendo is going to do the thing where they usually do with the console, that they have the console be a loss leader and they sell it for a loss so that they can make up games, make up money on the games later. Well, there's just so many questions that we have, and there's a lot of things we just don't know about this.
Yeah, it's true.
The one thing that I do know is that what they've come out and they've said is, well, actually it was NVIDIA that came out and said this, is that it's going to be powered by a Tegra processor, which is the same kind of tech that's in the which is already in the Shield Android gaming tablet thing and the Google Pixel C tablet. Typically considered to be a mobile processor. I mean, like, so when you're comparing it to other mobile processors, yes, it's a gaming powerhouse. But anybody that's expecting, really, at the end of the day, for the Switch to look anywhere near as good as the Xbox One and the PS4 is probably going to end up being mistaken. I don't see it's for the size and what they have to cram in here and everything. I'm imagining it's going to be like playing Skyrim at like 720p, not like full 1080p, for example. And I have no idea what the resolution of the screen is. I'm just trying to make a comparison that people would understand.
But Nintendo games aren't that
my point here, and see, and that's the thing. It's like, people are really excited about this. I'm really excited about this. Even though I have way less of a need to play a console as mobile as often as like Goat does, for example, I still love this idea, and I very much want this concept to work and do well. However, I'm afraid for Nintendo for the backlash that I'm assuming is going to happen when it comes out and it says, "Oh, but it doesn't look anywhere near as good as the Xbox One or the PS4." Like the core, really hardcore gamers are gonna say that because they're just expecting that it's a newer console, so it's gonna look better. I think.
Yeah, maybe, but I'll tell you this: if they can get more hardcore game experiences onto this thing with a good enough battery life to justify its purchase, even if it's a slight downgrade in graphics, I think that there's a trade-off to be had there, because. I mean, I don't know that this is going to be another console to go to for hardcore gaming. This Nintendo's kind of set a precedent where they don't really do well in that arena. And I mean, they have the one thing I guess I feel good about is that they have a really good track record with mobile and handheld games. So they're kind of marrying the two concepts. How do we take the way we do handheld gaming, which is always successful and always a big moneymaker for them? How do we take those things and merge them into something that will be successful for us. A lot of people were kind of crossing their fingers that you would be able to play DS and 3DS games on here, because it's looks like the games are going to be on really large SD cards. Whether or not these are standard size SD cards or something proprietary that's larger hasn't been announced yet. That's the thing, is a lot of information has not been put out yet. They haven't even been able to clarify whether or not the dock screen is a touch screen. I mean, I think it would be silly if it wasn't. But if it means that the battery life is extended by it not being a touchscreen, is it really going to kill people to have to navigate with a thumbstick or something? You know what I mean?
I would
Depending
say,
on how simple the operating system is. But I think people are going to be confused by a tablet that you can't touch.
yeah, I could see them leaving the touch off both for cost reasons, like trying to keep the cost of the console down. I don't think battery would be affected because like its existence on the console, and I don't even think its use is going to be any more than clicking around with the thumbstick. So I don't really see a battery savings there. I see it as being a cost saving measure if they kept it off. Honestly, I could also even see Nintendo doing like two versions of the thing, one with touch and one without, just because they've done stuff like that before. Would find the not having touch on there to be odd, because that severely limits their virtual console capabilities for both DS games and potentially like Wii U games down the road, depending on how
As long as they develop an operating system that works well enough on the television while you are docked, that's fine. But they're gonna have to make something that works well in that world and can be a good touchscreen operating system, kind of like Microsoft's trying to unify everything with Windows 10 being on tablets and the Surface Pro and all that stuff versus an actual like desktop PC. So as long as they can find a good middle ground like that, I think it'll work. They did say though, the rumblings are that you will not be able to use 3DS games or old DS games, because it is going to be the card slot on it is going to be something akin to an SD card reader. They have not really they've only confirmed a couple of things that are going to be on the system for sure. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which we all knew and kind of assumed would be, Dragon Quest 11, Project Sonic 2017, and Just Dance 2017 are confirmed. Now, some of the things we got glimpses of, but nobody's really talked about, where there was a brief snippet in there where they showed a Super Mario game that looked a lot like a Super Mario 64 or Super Mario Sunshine or Super Mario Galaxy type Mario game, which looked really sharp. And I kind of went back and watched that section of the clip a couple times. It looks really cool. I just want to play it. I mean, who wouldn't want to play it? They showed Skyrim, what a lot of people assumed was Skyrim remastered. But then a curious thing happened this week where Bethesda would not confirm whether or not that game is actually going to be released on that system. People pressed them and pressed them and pressed them, and they would not give anybody an answer. And I don't know if it's just because they're not ready to talk about or reveal. Maybe they can't legally based on whatever their strategy is. But I'm of the opinion, knowing what I know about entertainment and the way that the legal world works versus entertainment, I would be willing to bet that they would not have been willing to show the game as part of the reveal trailer if they were not going to be working on it or putting it out for, because that is incredibly misleading. And I know a bunch of people who said they would buy this just because they can take Skyrim and play it on the go. So if people are interested in purchasing Nintendo Switch for that purpose, and that game does not come out, then that could be, I believe, could be possibly a gateway to a false advertisement kind of an issue. But who knows? I don't know.
That would be.
See what I'm saying? I mean, that's a very specific type of game and a very specific type of gamer that has not really had any sort of a hand on Nintendo products in a while. And I feel they put that in there to show some varying degree more hardcore gamer, hey, look, we still have a home for you. We don't leave Nintendo. We've got you covered this time, because you're gonna have great shit like Skyrim on there. So if they don't put that out on there or some form or version of it, I think it's gonna be incredibly misleading. That's just me.
Yeah, that would not be good if that ended up happening.
They showed Splatoon, which I'm perfectly fine with that, making the leap up, just clean it up graphically a little bit. But there's not really anything else confirmed out for it. I'm assuming that the upcoming Nintendo Direct and a couple of other things coming up are going to be what kind of break this down, because This thing is gonna fly at us fucking fast. At this point, we're already creeping on November. This thing comes out in March 2017. So a couple of Nintendo Directs between now and then to fill us in on what the product is going to be, and then it's going to be here. One thing I did like that they showed in the trailer was you can take two systems and kick the little kickstand out of the back of the tablet, lean it back. Everybody grabs a Joy-Con controller, and you can do like 4-player like double screen. It's almost like making a LAN experience like the easiest thing on the planet. You know, I liked that. I thought that was really cool, man.
I'm interested to know if they're using some sort of like, if it's just like a direct Wi-Fi connection, or if it's something a little more, I don't know. That'd be. I have a lot of little just geeky tech questions I have about this thing.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think they said when asked why March 2017, Nintendo said one of the primary reasons was trying to make sure that day one software was finished and ready to go. But also, they want to buy themselves a little time because one thing that they want to do this time around, they said, as opposed to what they did with the Wii U and the Wii, was they want to constantly have a stream of new software coming out. Not like, hey, here's this first-party Nintendo benchmark title that everybody's excited for. It's coming out on this day, and then that one comes out, and then they tell like the next one you're gonna get. That's for sure. You're gonna want to buy a title. It's gonna be like 8 months from now. Set your date. They want to keep software coming out, which I think is really smart. So very little else is known about it. Otherwise, nobody's really talking about, internally, not really talking about it. Now, Nintendo did say that we are not going to get any official news on specs for this thing until January. So whatever they're going to announce during the Nintendo Direct coming up, it's probably just going to be kind of further explaining how the hardware works and some of its features, but they're not going to talk specs until January.
I can see two reasons for that decision. One is potentially that they haven't finalized them yet, and that they're going to take all the way up until that time to try and balance as much as possible to try and make this thing as affordable as possible. Because I just discovered that apparently Kimishima from Nintendo said that the Switch will not be sold at a loss. He said when the Wii U was launched, the yen was very strong. I'm assuming that situation will not repeat itself. Selling it at a loss at launch would not support the business, so we are keeping that in mind while developing the NX. So I think that they might literally be going up to the last minute. Right before they go into like a 2-month breakneck production speed for launch to do everything they can to make this as cost to performance, make that ratio as good as possible.
Yeah.
It's also possible, however, that kind of just going off of what I was saying before about how it's not going to be as powerful as the PS4, is that maybe they want that analysis, that community analysis and that discussion to not last for months and months and months, that they'll put the details out, but really as late as they possibly can, because once it gets into manufacturing, it's going to get leaked anyway, so they'd rather it come from them than anybody else. So
that makes sense to me. That seems reasonable to me. Needless to say, we all seem cautiously optimistic about it, though. I think everybody wants it to be good. I'm fascinated, yes. But I had a long talk with Ricky Keller about this. I like everything about the look of it and what they're promising and implying. None of it matters if the fucking software isn't there. Gotta put games on it. This is what Nintendo's had a problem with for the last 2 console cycles. Really, almost the last 3. It really started with the GameCube and kind of trickled out from there. But they've got to put they've got to have more variety of software on there. Do what you do best, Nintendo. Take care of your hardcore people, but give everybody else that might have an interest in your system more options. That's the only thing I can think of. If the software's not there, I won't be either.
Yeah.
The Wii U is still the first Nintendo console in my lifetime that I have not purchased. Still don't own it. And that proved to me that they can lose people that have been playing their whole lives. So, but having said that, that we all seem to kind of agree. Hopefully good.
If they don't put Metroid on it, I'm not buying it.
Oh, they're gonna put Metroid on it. I can't believe they went an entire fucking console cycle without putting a real Metroid game out.
Yeah,
that blows my mind. If they don't
Yeah.
put one out, people are gonna shit. I just don't think they know what to do with it right now. But that's my opinion.
The last comment that I'll have on this is I showed the trailer to Michelle, and I didn't tell her what it was going to be. I just said, hey, I want to show you something, and I showed it to her just to kind of get her blind reaction on it. And her response was essentially, it was she made a comment along the lines of, I really, good for Nintendo for not doing something common, like, good on them for, staying outside the mold and doing something innovative and unique. So even to like a non-hardcore gamer, like that was recognized, which is, is certainly a common response. Was that, she, well, really, there was just the two main things. And then the second thing she commented just about the trailer. And if you haven't watched the trailer, you're doing it wrong. But she said, she pointed out the fact of the irony of like Nintendo, kind of the company that, with especially thanks to Pokemon Go, has been like pushing people to get outside and to be active. One of the common themes in this trailer that they showed was people like to leave this thing, like you showed like actual people playing actual basketball, like an actual court, and then stopping the physical activity to sit down and play video games together. They showed like a woman like sitting on her like couch playing video games, and like her friends waving at her from across the street and saying, come hang out with us, and she can't even leave her video game system alone for an hour to go hang out with her.
I laughed at that one part. I understood what they were trying to do. I know they were just trying to show that that it's for everybody. I mean, they even showed a segment at the end that implied that they were going to be Major League Gamer friendly, which I don't know. I don't see that necessarily working except for very specific kinds of things. But I understand what they meant. But I did think that exact same segment, I was just like, this is very sad. She should just go have a barbecue with her friends, The
other two thoughts I had about it, just to kind of sum up, is that one, I definitely appreciated the fact that saying too is that the trailer really did focus on everybody playing this thing. It wasn't just parents and their kids. Like they definitely did not, like, a lot of like the Wii and the Wii U advertising was like about families playing together and like family friendly and kid stuff and everything. And this was not that.
No.
This was literally like all types and walks of people playing this thing, basically. And then the second thing, kind of on the same lines, is we talked a little bit before about the versatility of being able to use those controllers. You can use them attached to the sides of the screen. You can slide them off and put them on like this little dock to have like a single unified controller. You could also remove that dock and put it aside, which I'm assuming is just a holder. I'm not guessing there's any electronics in there. And then just use them separately in your two hands. And what had occurred to me is this is probably going to end up being the most accessible console to play in history when it comes to people with dexterity or other sort of impairments. The fact that you don't have to have your hands just like this in some position to be able to play this thing. I mean, that was probably a happy accident. I'm not assuming that Nintendo designed it that way, but I mean, like for people with accessibility issues, that's awesome. So just sort of like the side thing that I realized about it. So I think that's pretty cool. In general though, I'll be pre-ordering. How about you guys?
I, especially after the way things went the last round, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see. I want to see software. I want to see software first. I thought about pre-ordering it, but I'm gonna wait. As a father and with another kid on the way come April, I don't have money to just throw it chance right now. So,
but John, but John, you haven't been pre-approved for a GameStop credit card at this point.
I quit the show, Charlie. I don't want to talk. Fucking no. God, when I worked for GameStop, they tried to get me to get a fucking GameStop credit card. Fuck them. Thank you, Dustin's congratulating me for having another little one on the way. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Goat, I'm assuming you're all in.
Yeah, but I won't pre-order.
No? But
I mean,
on day one.
Well, I've never cared about that really.
But I know, but this is different though. I thought you were more excited for this than you ever had.
I am excited for it, but if I'm going to do that, I'm just going to find some schmuck in a parking lot and sell it to him for $900 and wait my time anyways.
Well, that's what you do. What I do. You pre-order two, and then you sell one to pay for the other one.
Hey, he's got a point.
Yeah.
So I think we're all in agreement that we're not unhappy with what we were shown. We just need more. more information.
Agreed.
More
I-
everything,
I
you know?
probably will pre-order it depending if I have a tour on, because I really want to take this thing out on the paces in the real world and see how she holds up to actual relentless travel.
Well, because I remember when they announced the Wii U, everyone was just like, not really what I was thinking. It
Yeah.
doesn't look terrible, I guess. We'll
Yeah.
see. And then when they announced I'll never forget when they announced the Wii, because I was sitting with a bated breath waiting, and they announced it, and I'll never forget that. That was one of the worst moments of my life as a gamer, where I looked at it and I was just like, "What the fuck is going on here? What the fuck is this? I haven't even purchased it, and I want my money back." You know, I was mad about the announcement of the Wii. I did not like that fucking thing. And I bought one later, much later. I play it. I found things I did like about it, but it was not what I
It was not day one excitement for you.
it was not what I wanted. And the Wii U was a step in the right direction, and then a step sideways and backwards in another direction. I don't know. But
And then we
this,
have we have the actual like I'm calling this the 3DS Wii U is what the Switch is.
I mean, a lot of people are likening it to, you know, so maybe something similar. But let's all agree that we all agree that this is
Charlie will buy
something
7 of them and rob small children of their parents' good-earned money for Christmas so they can look like patron saints. Yes.
I'm gonna make a prediction. Charlie will buy 2, one so that he can keep at home, and maybe the second one at home as well, in case he and Michelle want to each play while they're like hanging out and they've got their screens, or so that Charlie can have a dock in more than one place in case he wants to drop it somewhere. That's my prediction. Charlie will own 2 of these.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely. Well, now that you say that, I really do hope that eventually they sell the docks separately, so I can be able to easily dock it more than one place.
Excellent. I don't think they're going to sell the dock separate. I think they're going to make people buy units twice, but we'll see.
I mean, not at launch. I expect that they'll make the dock available separately later.
Maybe. We'll see, hopefully.
Just because of supply issues, I don't imagine they would be able to sell the dock by its own.
Well,
But-
it's
right at
children.
launch anyways,
Otherwise, let's go ahead and call this let's go ahead and call this feature cooked, good and cooked.
Yeah, let's turn the Switch off.
Yeah, there you go. See what you said earlier about you have integrity, all out the window. Oh,
no,
it's gone.
It's a blatant lie. I'm a musician.
I knew it. See, I know what I'm
It's all
talking
smoke and mirrors,
about.
John. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all backing tracks.
Fucking knew it.
Gentlemen, on to our mailbag, shall we?
I think Goat's got to roll.
I am actually going to cut out on you boys because I have. Speaking of smoke and mirrors, I have to go put up a bunch of smoke and mirrors and put on a rock concert.
Literally got to put on a smoke and mirror show.
Yeah.
Go before you take off. Just a couple programming notes. So go. Do you know where you're going to be next week? Or well, so actually, no, I take that back. So go. We know you're going to be at the Whiskey next week, and I'm going to be at Cider Fest. So John. Do you anticipate being able to like put together a Goat and Charlie show next week, or do we? What are we going to do there?
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tell everybody who's listening and watching right now, tentatively, yes. The only reason I may not be able to is because putting that show together is the day before I start my new job. So if God forbid I just can't do it, I will make sure to put up a post for everybody letting you know ahead of time that I won't be able to do it, but I anticipate that I will be able to put something together to entertain you guys.
Do it at noon.
Even if it's a a short show as an update just to give you guys your news for the week. I will get something together for you just so you know what's shaking.
John, just plan for a matinee.
Yeah, maybe so. We'll see. Tentatively.
Anything you want to talk about before you take off? Anything you want to let people know about?
No, not really. I'm almost done with this thing and blah 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 blah.
Forward to having you back. I'm going to very strongly suggest that once you get back, maybe a week after, so you've had time to decompress everything, that we all get together, we do a show in person for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm taking a week off from life when I get back from this run.
Yeah.
Good man. But yeah,
right,
so Goatly, do be safe. Have fun at the Whiskey next week, and we'll
no. Tiny corner stage. It's not gonna be fun at all. But yeah.
May God have mercy on your soul. We'll see you in a couple weeks, man.
All right,
later. All right. So with Goat departing the show for the remainder of the evening, let's go ahead and move on to mailbag. Charlie, do you have any mailbag responses to read off with today?
Well, let's see. I'm sure we got some responses in the Players Club here. So let me pop my head into the group and see what some people had to say here. So, as a reminder, our mailbag question for the week was: with the Nintendo Switch announced, are you going to buy one? If so, why? And what do you think is a fair price for the system? We got a response from Derek Hansen. He says, if the controller can be charged externally, and I might get one rather than a 3DS. Also, because they're going back to cartridges, homebrew will likely take hold within a year of release, which is always good for the consumer. If they're still doing the "we're not competing with Sony Microsoft" thing, then $250 is a price point that would show that. I don't think it's going to be near. I don't. I think I'm guessing, John. I'm guessing $399 at launch. What do you think about that?
That to me sounds like a reasonable throughway. For what they're offering, I don't know that they could get away with charging any more than that. I did say though in another this completely separate conversation, if they can get that thing down, if they can get it below $400, if they can get it to like 350 or 375, I think people snatch that fucking thing up like nobody's business. I think a $50 difference will make all the difference in the world. I don't know if they can afford that. I doubt they're going to do that, but Nintendo has done some shocking things with price, so we'll see.
Yeah. We got one response in the on our Facebook page. Brian Lesser says, I'm waiting until more titles are announced. A new Zelda game won't be enough, nor is a list just simply a list of publishers and developers. A fair price would be between $300 and $400. I agree to saying. The Xbox One, PS4, and several small gaming PCs, such as the Alienware Alpha, are in the same price range. Yeah, I think that's a good point. They do have to take the current price points of the PS4 and the Xbox One into consideration. Even if it doesn't compare, it's competing in the market. So $399 I think would be the absolute highest that they could charge. $349 I think would be a heck of a lot more competitive.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that.
But yeah, so that's everything we got there, John. I believe you have some responses.
I do have a handful of responses. So Alejandro Juvera said absolutely and probably $350. So there's one person who's got their vote at $350. John Jones says, I think it'll be around $250 to $300, and the launch date is March 2017, which we were aware of. But there's another person who's saying $250 to $300. I mean, we're talking about $400. Seems like the throughway for you and I. So the question then becomes, is it going to create a precedent of disappointment for people if it's $400? Is that going to cause the system to tank? I don't know. I wonder. Matt Cole says, yes, I want a portable handheld console that plays current gen games. And who am I kidding? I buy every Nintendo console. And Matt Cole predicts $349 to $400 price range. Ashley Peterson says, I will seriously consider it, and somewhere between $350 and $400. Darcy said, I'm going to buy the shit out of it, and around $350 to $400. So well done. I'm glad you're going to buy the shit out of it, Darcy. Dash says, oh, hell yeah. If I can afford it, I'm totally getting it. I'd have to agree that $350 to $400 range. Dustin's in chat right now said, I'm interested in getting one, I think, but I want to hear your guys' review on it before I make my decision. So we'll see. If one of us snags it first, then I'm going to predict that it'll be Charlie before Goat and I. I'm sure we'll keep you posted with that, Dustin. Dane David said, I'm just trying to get to the release of the regular Nintendo with its 60 games. They're talking about the little mini console that has the 60 games. And then finally, Chris Shambra says, I'll most likely wait for second generation Switch due to constant issues with any manufacturer during the initial run. So he's taking a more of a strategic, perspective on the entire thing. Not too shabby, I think. But that wraps up the mailbag for the week. Nothing that was too particularly or terribly lengthy, but you guys gave us some good insight into what you were thinking. It seems to me, though, that $350 to $400 was the expected kind of price point, right? It seems like that was the kind of area that everybody seemed most comfortable fitting into, right?
Yep.
Good.
Definitely seems like it.
So let's call that the end of the mailbag.
Well, I would, except we have a Songbird email.
Oh, shit, son.
Yeah. Songbird writes in, she says, mailbag answer. As a big Nintendo fan, I knew I was going to buy one before the teaser, but now I only wanted more. Still, I need to know more info before jumping on the hype train. It didn't feel that people found errors in the video which make it fake. For example, if you pause the video when the lady is playing the Mario game, you'll notice when she picks up the tablet, the bottom right screen overlaps her shirt. Oh, so yeah, apparently some of that. Yeah, so some of that video is superimposed. It's a little doctored. Which, considering the console is not finished yet, I'm not totally surprised. It's a concept video more than I guess, but whatever. Depending on what comes with it, I'd say at most maybe 300 to 350. But what's almost more important is what games will be at launch. Yes. Considering Splatoon and Mario Kart were shown, I'm curious to see if and when Smash Brothers is mentioned.
A lot of people
yeah.
were saying that they need Smash Brothers in their lives in order to kind of make this thing go. Which, go ahead and continue on, Charlie. But I'm going to pull up an image I'm going to share in just a moment that I was like, oh my god, when I saw it. Go ahead.
Okay. The songbird continues, and she asks, "What do you think of Nintendo's new title? Do you think they could have come up with something different, or maybe stayed with NX? Also, how is Twitch okay with this?" What she means by the Twitch reference? Is there Twitch NX something?
No, I don't believe so. Not to the best of my knowledge, anyways.
How is Twitch? So Songbird, your question there is over our heads, unfortunately. But it's in terms of the name Switch. I think it's perfect, honestly. I mean, like, I think it perfectly captures what the console is. And most importantly, it doesn't have Wii anywhere in it. So
that is very important. I like the little simple logo with which you don't realize until when you first look at the little square that has the two dots, that it's the Joy-Con controllers. It's the juxtaposition of the upside down Joy-Con controllers. I like the logo. It's simple. They said, do you notice they said the name of the product? Like they showed it several times during the course of the video, and then at the end they were like Nintendo Switch. Like they want you to know what it is. I like it.
Yeah.
I think they could have come up with another name for it, but I don't know that they need to. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, it's hard to say. I don't think they could have done better because I haven't obviously considered every possible option. But I think the name is perfect, honestly.
And I want to share this image really quick. So, sorry, Charlie, not to interrupt you. This was a concept that somebody created and said that they think would work perfect for a game, for a system like this. When I saw this, Mr. Brian Lesser found this image originally. I was just like, I did like fucking goal. Like I was excited when I saw this shit as a fighting game enthusiast. What? Come on, man. Tell me that this doesn't, it's an arcade stick that you slide onto the left and right side of the fucking screen. So you can play fighting games with somebody portably if you each have one. Come on.
So whoever came up with this concept realized, which I admit I did not previously, that with how you can attach those controllers to the side of the screen, if Nintendo doesn't make that docking connection and everything proprietary and lets other people develop things for it, you could have all sorts of attachments on this thing. I mean, you could have
tons.
Tons. Tons of stuff. Yeah, I mean, like I can't even fathom like how many different.
Yeah,
things
you could take these two pieces of this arcade controller off and then slide those together to make like a little mini, kind of like NES Advantage sized arcade stick. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man, that's amazing. When I saw that, I immediately saw the merit of this thing being a competitive like fighting game type console where you can just go play with your friends anywhere. That was very exciting to me. But anyways, though, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt Songbird's email.
No problem. Songbird continues and she asks, I don't want to just dismiss that. I'm just going to do a quick Google search for Twitch NX and see what comes up, just because. I'm not. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we can't figure out what that was, Songbird. If you could just clarify for us, we really appreciate it because we would love to address that for you and make sure we have some commentary. Although if it's for next week, it'll probably just be me drinking a bottle of whiskey, like cursing at everybody and telling them to get off my lawn. But I'll answer your question.
Yeah, no, I'm missing it. I don't find anything. Unless it's because of the similarity between Switch and Twitch. I don't know. I'm not.
Maybe. I apologize. Could just be a typo. Maybe.
Anywho, Songbird continues. She says, "Where did all the kids go? Does Go have anything to do with this?" Just referring to what I was saying before about the lack of like kids and family in the Nintendo video. I think it's just Nintendo just choosing their target audience very very carefully here. It's I don't really think Nintendo needs to go after families. I mean, like Nintendo has long been the family friendly console, and so I feel like like trying to market this thing towards families is sort of wasted energy.
Yeah.
I think it's the quote unquote hardcore gamers or whatever that Nintendo needs to like regain the trust and interests of. As soon as this thing comes out, what, like it's a Nintendo. I mean, like that's it. So I that's just my theory on it. John, what do you think? Do you think anything different on that?
No, I'm with you on that. I think ultimately what it kind of boils down to is that you can have they already have that family friendly market, like you said. So they don't really need to convince those people to buy a Nintendo system because they know that there will be no shortage of wholesome games for them to put out. They need to capture the hardcore gamer, they need to capture teenage gamers, and they need to capture sounds like fucking politics is what it sounds like. And they need
Well,
I mean really, and they need to capture everybody that isn't just a Nintendo hardcore because they've already established that those people will follow them into the mouth of hell. Nintendo fans will do those things. They need to get the people that aren't necessarily Nintendo fans or people that they lost. They need to get them to come back, which I think it's all in the software because I mean, the general consensus amongst the internet this week was everybody really likes it a lot. So we'll see. We'll see.
very positive from what I've
Very
seen.
good for
A couple
them.
detractors, but that'll always be the case.
Yeah.
And then finally, Songbird asks, and she poses the question: despite Nintendo saying that they're not going to have any more new info until 2017, that doesn't mean that they couldn't tease it in more. Tease it more. If you were to create marketing to garner more public interest, how would you get the word out during the time before the new year? Remember, the holidays are a thing. John, how would you, if you were just doing some like some similar just interest raising interest raising
Do you know what? Honestly, I would. This comes from experiences being a guest at conventions often. If Nintendo was smart, I mean, really, if Nintendo was smart, what they would do is kind of take it out and demo it live in very public places. So if you're looking for people that aren't necessarily just gamers, right? You want to get everybody involved. Take it to a place like Mall of America and set up a big fucking Nintendo thing in the middle of the goddamn mall and have a whole bunch of them set up so people can come and try it and play it and um, go to. There's so many conventions, anime and comic book conventions in this country now. Find them, create an index of them, and take your product to them and set up shop. Fucking set up a Nintendo sponsored game room at these conventions, and everybody will fucking come if they think, oh, I can go to this convention, buy access to the convention, I have a great time, fun weekend, and get to play, an unreleased Nintendo system to raise awareness. I mean, it's word of mouth, and they can win word of mouth by doing like a chain tour around the country to places where there are mass amounts of people, where they don't have to go find the people, take the product to the people that are already there and entice them to play it. That would be my strategy.
So I have a twist on that. I think that one of the difficulties with that strategy, John, is I don't think that there's going to be enough of like the console, like enough. I don't think that they would be technically ready to produce that many consoles and have that many games out to have demo stations like with what you're talking about. Instead, I would do
Maybe not.
something a little more viral. I would get some Nintendo employees to people that are trained and prepped in doing what I'm going to suggest here, and I would give them some NX units, some prototype units, but at least that are working well enough to play some games on them. And then have them go out into just some situations and just sort of like maybe like tell them to just like open up one on a plane and just like start playing it, and then you're gonna get that viral effect to be like, dude, there's a guy over there playing the Nintendo, and then you're gonna get all that social media buzz and everything. Or like stick some guy in like the middle of a mall and like have him play it, and just have just sort of kind of come at it from that angle. Maybe have somebody like if they're I don't think that there are any like actual like gaming conventions like PAX or anything like that. I don't think there's anything like that coming up probably between now and March. But having somebody like in a situation like that would be interesting. In some scenario where he couldn't just get mobbed by people, but
yeah.
I mean that's the kind of thing I would do. Like whatever like the center of like Silicon Valley is, just have them sit down in a park and start playing it, and just let the marketing do itself, just by people taking pictures and posting about it, and just sort of just like really getting the impression across that that you can take this thing anywhere and play it anywhere. That would be my pitch. But
there you go. Fair enough.
But yeah, so sincerely, Songbird, she concludes. So Songbird, thank you very much for your email. And yeah, we do have your email, like we mentioned, just to reinforce it, your email from last week talking about the PSVR. We're just gonna hold that until we have our big PSVR discussion, because I really want to get my hands and try one before we really sit down and talk about it. So maybe that show where I'll get together after Cider Fest, John will be able to drag it out of Nick's hands and bring it over so I can try it or something like that. But yeah, so that will conclude our show for this evening. John, do you have anything coming up that you'd like to tell folks about?
Really nothing that's exciting to share. That other than some Via Surveillance news coming up, but even that stuff. Aside from the conventions we already have booked, which I'm going to be, updating everybody coming up with some of that stuff, there's going to be I talked to Nick last night, and I'm going to see him tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of stuff in lieu of some of those, changes we had a few months ago with members going. Like, there's going to be a lot of shit changing, and for the better, in a very, very good way. So I'll keep you guys updated with that between now and when something interesting has to be said. But until then, it's just going to be business as usual for me for the next few weeks, which is kind of nice for a change. Anybody who knows me personally knows I don't really slow down, which is probably a bad thing. But I'm pretty fucking burnt out, dude. I'm tired of shit. So I could use a little break. Downtime's good. So just getting settled into the new job. That's the focus for the moment. Between Vsrel and stuff, and of course Gamerhead Radio. So.
Cool. On my side of things, I look forward to being able to play video games in a week and a half.
Yay!
So
Charlie, we should really play something together.
Really should play something. I'm just gonna leave it at that, because otherwise I'm a broken record. So yeah, yeah. So with all that being said, for next week's show, like John said earlier, it's a bit of a question mark as to what it ends up being.
It's either going to happen or it's not. But I'll keep you posted.
Whether it ends up happening or not, and if it does, what time of the day and what day maybe even it'll end up happening.
I will likely stick to our regular start time, is not to upset any of you guys that are regularly watching us. You guys carve out the time every week to sit down and enjoy the show live, the ones that do. So I won't change that if that's the case. It's probably going to be a shorter show. That's the only thing I'll say.
Cool. I would love to be able to contribute some guest interviews to that show with some of the folks that are going to be at Cider Fest. I'll do what I can, but yeah, we will. It'll just depend on how everything goes. But keep an eye on social media feeds as always to find out our plans for next week. Thanks. Our mailbag question this week was posted later than usual, but
that was my fault. Sorry.
I'm okay with how it worked out. I was gonna say it was half on purpose, just because we sort of knew with the amount of people that are excited about this console that if we gave too much time for it to be answered, we would never stop.
It would be a 2-hour mailbag. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. So but do keep an eye on our feeds. Yeah. So John, I will officially leave it to you to let the people know what's happening for next week's show.
And so it shall be done.
But yeah, so
that includes a mailbag and whatever potential feature if there is one. So we'll update you guys instead of plotting that out like we normally do. I'll see what I can dream up this week for you. Okay.
Awesome. Cool. All right. So thank you very much for watching, listening, subscribing, chatting in the chat room. If you'd like what you heard, you can find us at gamerheadradio.com, at facebook.com/gamerheadradio, at google.com/+gamerheadradio, and on Twitter at gamerheadradio, where I am at TEK Charlie. John is at the Fallon Flynn, and Goat is at Sir Goatsworth. You can email us at editors@gamerheadradio.com or call and leave us a voicemail at 94926gamer. You can subscribe on Android using the official Gamerhead Radio app available from the Google Play Store, or you can also subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, Brain Just Broke, Twitch, or with your various podcast downloaders of choice. Thank you very much for watching, listening, subscribing. As I said, this has been episode 190 of Gamerhead Radio. And lead in, which Goat can't do because he's not here.
That's true. So we'll have to do it. what was what did he call him? Luingle? Or no, the Luigi Tingle?
What was it?
No, was it? No, it was something Dingle.
Was it Luwingle?
Was it Lingle or Dingle?
Oh, maybe it was Lingle. Maybe it was Lingle.
Lingle? Yeah. So there's that. Okay. I got it. Hold on. We'll work Lingle in there. Golf and Goat's dad jokes. Oh, and the integrity of Goat's dad jokes. So it could be today on Gamerhead Radio, we talk about the integrity of Goat's dad jokes, golf claps, and lingle something. We got to find a way to switch in there. Fuck. There's got to be a through way because this was a pretty straightforward show this week. It was not like a haha funny show. So normally when there's no dick or fart joke to pin this one to.
I mean, yeah, it could just be as simple as today in Gamerhead Radio. Find out our reactions to find out our and your reactions to the Nintendo Switch, as well as what in the hell a lingle is, or something like that.
Yeah. Also find out. Also, stay tuned to find out what kind of an abomination a lingle is. It is a fucking abomination.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it.
Is that the winner? You want to do it?
Who actually did the lead in last week? Was it? It was you, right?
I don't know.
Or was it
actually, me? My fucking brain doesn't work. Let me look. Let's see really quick. I'll check.
Oh, right, because I did the train conductor. So it was technically both of us, but it was my lead in.
Yeah, Dick Train Express to Ponyville. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So you should do this one just because I did the last week. So
okay. So all right. Let me see if I can do this off the cuff. Today on Gamerhead Radio, tune in to find out what our reactions to the Nintendo Switch were, as well as your own, and also stick around to see what a kind of an abomination a lingle is. Ugh. Gamerhead Radio starts now.
Give me one more, just because I got some digital distortion on my end. So just give me one more.
Today on Gamerhead Radio, tune in to find out what our reaction to the Nintendo Switch is, as well as your own, and also stick around to make sure you find out what an abomination a lingle is. Ugh. Gamerhead Radio starts now.
That'll do, John. That'll do.
That'll do. Everybody who's still watching, thank you for sticking around and watching us again this week. Maybe I can put some sort of bastardized Franken show together for you next week. Charlie, be safe. Have fun in Ponytown.
I will do that, folks. I hopefully will make some sort of pseudo appearance on the show next week, whether or not it's a traveling Technotronicorn or something else, an interview.
Voicemail.
Here's hoping. Hopefully it'll be a video voicemail, like with me and like John Delancey or something like that.
That would be amazing.
That's kind of the dream, but we'll have to see. But anyways, for now,
good night.